So in this video, we'll discuss the procedure for incorporation of a company, section 7. Basically, there are two procedures for incorporation of a company. One is normal procedure, okay, lengthy procedure. Another one is SPICE, simplified procedure. So in this lecture, in this video, I'll explain the first procedure. So simplified procedure, SPICE, that I'll explain in another video. So in this video, I'll explain the traditional procedure for our conventional procedure for incorporation of a company, okay, which may be a bit lengthy. Okay, right. So first thing, procedure for incorporation of a company. What is the procedure for incorporation of a company? Procedure for incorporation of a company. Procedure for incorporation of a company. So what is the procedure? First, we need to gather minimum number of members. Okay, so to incorporate a company, we need to have minimum number of members. And after gathering minimum number of members, we need to submit the documents. Documents to be submitted. Documents submitted. So after gathering the minimum number of members, we need to submit a documents. So once the documents are submitted, document verification. Okay, registrar of companies known as ROC. Okay, registrar of companies known as ROC. So ROC will verify the documents, and once the documents are found to be correct, allotment of SIN, corporate identity number, will be allotted. Okay, corporate identity number will be allotted. So minimum number of members to be gathered, documents to be submitted, and documents will be verified. Thereafter, ROC will allot a SIN number, corporate identity number. Corporate identity number, and ROC will issue a certificate of incorporation. Issue certificate of incorporation. Issue certificate of incorporation. And what are the documents preservation? Documents preservation. So after obtaining the certificate of incorporation, we need to preserve the documents. What are the whatever the documents we have filed, that we need to preserve. So this is the overview or glance of the procedure for incorporation of a company. So in this, we'll discuss one by one. So what is the minimum number of members required to form a company? So public company requires minimum 7 members. Private company requires minimum 2 members. Private company requires minimum 2 members. OPC, one person company, requires only one. We should not say it as a minimum. One person company requires only 1 member. Okay, that is the number of members required. And when it comes to the documents, what are the documents we need to submit? So we need to submit various documents. So say number 1, memorandum of association and articles of association. Memorandum of association and articles of association, that we have to submit. Next, statutory declaration. So declaration that we have complied with all the provisions, that declaration we have to submit. Statutory declaration. Next, third document we need to submit is no conviction declaration. No conviction declaration. So we have to give a declaration that directors have not committed any offense during the past 5 years. And after, temporary communication address till incorporation of a company. Temporary communication address till incorporation of a company. Temporary communication address till incorporation of a company. Next, details of subscribers. Details of subscribers. That subscribers are this minimum number of members who got the thought of incorporating a company. Those minimum number of members is called subscribers. Details of subscribers like name, address, etc. Next, details of directors. We need to submit details of directors like name, address, etc. And interest of directors in other companies or body corporates. Interest of directors in other firms or body corporates. Interest of director in other firms or body corporates. Interest of directors in other firms or body corporates. Okay, so these are the overview of the documents required for incorporation of a company as per section 7. It's not the haphazard list I have given or arbitrary list. It is a statutory list. Okay, so to this section, this is more than enough for the examination purpose. Okay, so practically it will be more complicated, but for the examination purpose, this will be enough. It's an overview. What are the documents required? We need to find memorandum of association and articles, statutory declaration, no conviction declaration, address, temporary address till incorporation of a company, and details of subscribers, details of directors, interest of directors, the persons to whom we are appointing, we are proposing to appoint. If they are already working as a director in some other company or already working as a partner in any other partnership firm, that details we have to give. So I am incorporating a company, I want to appoint Mr. A as a director. I am incorporating a company. I want to appoint Mr. A as a director. If that Mr. A is already working in some other company, I need to give the details of that other company in which my proposed director is working. So I am giving the details of a company in which my proposed director is already working. Okay, those are the documents to be submitted for incorporation. Once we submit the documents and the ROC verifies these documents to be correct, yes, ROC will incorporate a company, will allot SIN number, corporate identity number. What is the SIN number? Corporate identity number. This SIN number is a corporate identity number. Simply SIN, corporate identity number. So ROC will allot a unique identity number to the company, and the ROC will issue a certificate of incorporation. Okay, registrar of companies. So ROC, known as registrar of companies, will verify the documents and will issue a certificate of incorporation. And the documents, whatever the documents we have submitted, that we have to preserve. Whatever the documents we have submitted, that we have to preserve. So where we have to preserve those documents and how long we have to preserve those documents? Where we have to preserve those documents and how long we have to preserve those documents? So we have to preserve those documents at the registered office of the company. At the registered office of the company. How long we have to preserve those documents? Permanently. Okay, how long we have to preserve those documents? We have to preserve those documents permanently. Whatever the documents we have submitted, that we have to preserve permanently. So consequence of submitting wrong information. If I have submitted any wrong information in these documents, okay, if I have submitted any wrong information in those documents, so wrong information is submitted in the documents. If I have submitted any wrong information in those documents, if I have submitted any wrong information, then punishment will be attracted under section 447. Okay, fine and imprisonment under section 447. Fine and imprisonment under section 447. Fine and imprisonment under section 447. So whatever the documents I have submitted for incorporation of a company, those documents I have to preserve permanently at the registered office. If I have submitted any wrong information in those documents, fine and imprisonment will be attracted. Okay, so this is the procedure for incorporation of a company, and these are the documents required for incorporation of a company. These are the documents required for incorporation of a company. These are the documents required for incorporation of a company. So within these documents, we need to discuss separately for these two documents, important documents, statutory declaration and no conviction declaration. Okay, so first we'll start with the statutory declaration. Statutory declaration. Statutory declaration. So who has to give that statutory declaration? Statutory declaration has to be given by two persons. One is professional incorporating a company. Professional incorporating a company, or director, manager, or secretary of the company. Director, manager, or secretary of the company. So outside independent professional who is engaged in incorporating a company, so that professional has to give this certificate, or director, manager, or secretary. So Companies Act has given power to 4 professionals to incorporate a company, that is chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, and advocate. Okay, so 4 professionals has a power to incorporate a company. 4 professionals has a power to incorporate a company, and the declaration has to be given by director and manager. This is and. This is not or, this is and. That means both the persons has to give declaration. So statutory declaration, how many copies? 2 copies of the declaration. Statutory declaration has to be given in 2 copies. Statutory declaration has to be given in 2 copies. Okay, one is the professional, another one is director, manager, or secretary. So what this statutory declaration contains? This statutory declaration states that all the provisions of the Companies Act relating to incorporation has been completed. So all requirements relating to incorporation has been completed. All requirements relating to incorporation. All requirements relating to incorporation has been completed with. Okay, all requirements relating to incorporation has been complied with. Okay, all requirements relating to incorporation has been complied with. That is what is the statement given in this declaration. So who has to give the declaration? Professional, one professional, and one employer, one officer of the company, maybe director, manager, or secretary. So one outside professional has to give this certificate, and one officer of the company. Okay, outside professionals, any one of the 4 professionals: chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant, and advocate. Therefore, in total, we have 2 copies of the declaration. One given by the professional, another given by the director, manager, or secretary. So what is given in that declaration? So the declaration contains this statement: all requirements relating to incorporation has been complied with. This is one declaration. Another declaration is no conviction declaration. Okay, another declaration is a no conviction declaration. Another declaration is no conviction declaration. So this declaration has to be given by each of the subscribers. So this declaration has to be given by each subscriber and each first director and each subscriber mentioned in MOA. So each subscriber mentioned in MOA has to give this declaration, and each director mentioned in articles of association. Each director mentioned in articles of association. So each director mentioned in articles of association. So it has to be given by this no conviction declaration has to be given by each of the subscriber mentioned in the MOA and each of the director mentioned in the articles of association. Okay, so if I have 7 subscribers and 3 directors, that means for public company we have total 10 copies. For public company we have 10 copies, 3 directors, so minimum 7 members, 3 directors, minimum 3 directors, minimum 7 members and minimum 3 directors. So then maybe I may be having 10 declarations. If same person is acting as a member as well as director, then 7 is enough. 7 is enough. If members are different and directors are different, then 10 copies. So if same members are acting as a directors also, those 3 directors are also members of the company. Assume those 3 directors are also members of the company, then 7 declarations is enough. But if those 3 directors are different from the members, other than the members, then total 10 copies we have to give this declaration, each of the subscribers and each of the first directors. So what is given in that declaration? What is given in the declaration? Not convicted for any offense during the past 5 years. Not convicted for any offense under the Companies Act. Not convicted for any offense under the Companies Act 2013. Not convicted for any offense under the Companies Act 2013 during the past 5 years. During the past 5 years. Okay, this is the declaration we have to give. They have not convicted for any offense. Now, convicted means confirmed. If the court confirmed that a person has committed an offense, that is called as conviction. Allegation is just a complaint. I am complaining about you, but it is not that you have committed a fraud. If the court confirms that yes, you have committed a fraud, it is called as conviction. Conviction means confirmed offense. Conviction means confirmed offense. So I am filing an allegation against you. If the court confirms that yes, you have committed an offense, then it is called as a conviction. So here the subscribers and directors are giving a declaration that they have not been convicted by any court during the past 5 years under the Companies Act 2013. That means if you have committed any fraud under the Companies Act, you will be prohibited for incorporating a company for a period of 7 years. So, sorry, 5 years. So 5 years is the suspension period. If I have committed a fraud and court confirmed that I have committed a fraud, I am prohibited from incorporating a company for a period of 5 years. After 5 years, I can incorporate. Therefore, today what I am concluding is that during the past 5 years, I have not committed any offense. Today, what I am concluding is that during the past 5 years, I have not committed any offense. Okay, right. So this is what the declarations we have to give. So total documents, MOA, AOA, statutory declaration, and no conviction declaration. So this is the no conviction declaration. So this is the overview of the procedure for incorporation of a company, section 7. Section 7 deals with the incorporation of a company, and section 3 deals with the minimum number of members. I have combined both. So I have combined both the statements. So this is the overview, procedure for incorporation of a company, documents required for incorporation of a company, and whatever the statutory declarations we are given, and no conviction declarations. Okay. So in the next video, we'll discuss the contemporary procedure. This is the traditional or conventional procedure for incorporation of a company. So in another video, I'll come out with a SPICE, simplified pro forma for incorporating a company electronically. In fact, that is the most relevant procedure in reality. This is the academic sake. For the academic sake, we are discussing this conventional procedure. So in another video, I'll come out with SPICE. Okay, thank you.